All right. So listen, here's some things that I was thinking of because it's really been a minute since I did one of these lives. And actually sort of thought about it. So I've decided that what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing these on Sunday nights. But the other thing is, the Sunday night thing is probably going to have to end because, of course, I've had to take a job to pay the bills because that's kind of just the way it goes, right? We all have to do things that we would rather not do. But anyways, there we go. Hi, Holly. How are you? Geez, I miss talking to you. So here's Holly in for the evening. But anyways, so there, and that's the email address. So if you want a reading, and I never turn anyone away for a reading, right? I mean, I gift a lot of readings, and it's just because I get it. Sometimes we're in that place where we really need to know something, and the finances just aren't there, which means, yeah, you should probably be working with me on some of those money issues, because I really had a major turnaround and breakthrough this past 6 months on money issues and wealth and finances and all of that kind of stuff. And I really do believe that there is enough to go around at all times, and that none of us have to starve or go without or feel that we work in an area that just does not pay us for our creative talents. So that's just a thought I have. But anyways, I'll be putting this comment back up as things go along. But here it is. So the other thing that I was thinking about is because I've had to take this job, it requires me to work Saturday and Sunday evenings. So my days off are always going to be Mondays now. They're Sunday, Monday till the end of January. And then the first week in February, they switch over to Monday, Tuesday. At least I think that's when it happens. So I'm thinking, I had promised in just over a year ago when I started this channel that I wanted to do some live meetings using the Zoom app. So I think what I want to do is kind of a Metaphysical Monday discussion group starting at around 6 o'clock, because there are people whose opinions I value, whose learning I value, who live on the East Coast. And for some of them, 9 o'clock is really late at night. It's at the end of the day. It's Monday. And of course, you know how we all feel about Mondays, which I think is just something we believe, not something that's necessarily true. But anyway, so that's what I was thinking of, was to start having Metaphysical Monday musings, where we could just get together, grab our cup of tea, and talk about whatever it is that kind of is in the group that night to talk about. And there's always wisdom within the group, always wisdom within the group. So, it's in a place that's safe to talk about, spiritual enlightenment, personal growth in the midst of like world chaos. I started reading live on YouTube in January of last year, just actually right about now, because the inauguration of President Trump had just happened and we were in horror. A year later, I can't believe we've normalized so much of his behavior. Thank you, Holly. Yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun to have metaphysical musings on Mondays. It's my day off. It's a Zoom meeting. We can all talk. I think we're all adult enough to be able to not talk over one another and to really honor different perspectives. So I'm really thinking that that is something that I'm going to promote and promote heavily over the next week. Now, I may not, I think I'm going to have to probably do it on Facebook and Zoom. So that we can just get together and talk about stuff. I really miss, it's kind of like, it's not a mastermind circle and it isn't really a circle, but it is to talk about all that stuff. I mean, and I'm all about the practical side of enlightenment, right? That's just the way I roll, is that it is the practical side of enlightenment, because it is really easy for people to say, You just got to get those laws of attraction working for you. And there's a part of me that always goes like, what? I haven't been working them. So I always felt like there was secret information that I had to pay for in order to get access to. And it irritates me. I think that there's a conversation we have about valuing information or valuing people who pay, that if we pay for information, we're going to hold that information in higher value than if it was just something that was given to us. Well, I just call bullshit on that one. And here's the other thing. You need to know, I swear, and I swear a lot. So it's just the way things go with me. If you're going to hang out with me, you better get used to hearing me say fuck, because I say it a lot. And I always try and be really, so nice about that. But I have to tell you all, I officially retire in 6 months, and I am so looking forward to that. And part of that whole thing is that I don't need to apologize for who I am anymore. I just don't. I swear. And I swear a lot. And I say the word fuck a lot. And when I'm at work, I have to manage that I am at work and not swear at people. But anyway, so there you go. Well, Holly, I'm going to pull a card for you. Lisa, if you're still here, let me know. Well, Holly, I think this is a deck that I need to talk with you about. Right. Okay. Here's the card. Can you see that? It's Sacred Mountain. Now, I think the image is actually Machu Picchu in Peru. But I know you're here for support, my love. I know you're here for support. But here's the thing. I'm going to do a reading for you anyways, because I'm just going to do it. It's just what I do. Sacred Mountain. So what is it with the Sacred Mountain? So what I'm getting is that there is a place, that there is a journey to a sacred mountain that is having the brakes put on it. And I know that you work very diligently at your spiritual gifts. But what I'm seeing is that there is a journey to the sacred mountain. Now, when that happens, the journey to the sacred mountain, as you know, as a non-traditional shaman, is a journey of the soul to a place where we sit in a state of readiness for our guides to come to us. It's like a vision quest. And the problem with vision quests are, if we embark on a vision quest and we don't do the work that comes out of that vision quest, we get the insight. Rahima, hello. How lovely to see you. Oh, I just got it. Here's there. It's so good to see you. So back to the vision quest. So the journey to the sacred mountain is like that. Now, there are places, and we know those places in physically, where our native brothers and sisters have designated as sacred mountains. There's one up in the Nahani. It's up with the Nahani people, and you can't even say the name of the mountain because it's considered disrespectful. But anyways, so there are those places, and it's places where we believe that, or that we understand, that put us closer to the spirit world, put us closer to our spiritual guides and teachers, and that's where that information is, that it's there. And we can also do that journey metaphysically. We can do it within ourselves. So we don't have to physically go and do it, though it's not such a bad idea. And And yes, Lisa, I can. I'm going to scroll back through them. Even with one card readings, I tend to do a lot of information. Anyways, the point that I'm trying to make here is that there is a journey to the sacred mountain that I know that you are on. But what I feel is that there are structured beliefs that sit in the background of that decision that control it. You have a very strong backseat driver that undermines what it is that you do. And I think that it prevents you from really stepping into your place of power. Now, I don't know if you ever read the Lynn Andrews books. And some people say they were made up and some people say they're actually true. I don't really care. The thing is that lessons come to us in all kinds of ways. And I truly do believe that those books are inspired words from the spirit world, however that happened. If you have not read her books, I think the first one is Lynn Andrews, Medicine Woman. But it is about that kind of spiritual journey and the stripping back of the work that needs to be done in order to find true self and to find true ways of walking this path. You know, it is not an easy path. So many wounded healers are called to this path because we understand the burdens of pain and we understand what it's like to move forward and to carry pain as a companion, but not as someone who drives it forward. So when I see Sacred Mountain for you, I see that there is that last and final journey to finally give away all of those things that are not necessary. There is a tradition of giveaway. And I don't know if you've done your 2018 burn yet, but I would suggest that it is time to do a burn and to do a giveaway and to give away those things that you need to get rid of. Well, Holly, you might find them in the library. But anyways, okay. So Radhima, I have to tell you, I did something really naughty. I looked at you up and I watched your videos and I was delighted with your videos. Yes, giveaway is very powerful, but what I'm talking about is giving away those things that you no longer need in terms of your beliefs. Okay? It is very powerful, and it is very powerful energy. And what I do is I do a burn that is something like a pipe ceremony, but it's, as you know, in the shamanic tradition, by doing a burn. So I think I've spoken to you about this before. Physically, practically, what works is to take tobacco, if you can get some tobacco, some natural cotton squares, and they don't need to be any bigger than this, red cloth. Take the tobacco with what it is, write out what it is you're giving away. You might have to write it on really tiny pieces of paper, and roll it up with the cotton, tie it with red thread, and roll it away from you. So it has to be very practical magic. It has to be very, as you know, what we do here works. It's the whole thing about the shamanic tradition is to make it present in this world. So take those little bundles, put some tobacco in it, write out what it is that you are giving away, put it in those bundles, tie them up with red thread, wrap it away from you, right? And put them all together, and then find a place where you can burn them. And you might bring your drum, and I think that you probably need to sing as they burn and to give them away and to watch the smoke go up and disperse. Now, if you want to call into being, also write out what it is you want, wrap it in a bundle with tobacco, tie them up with red strings. These are going to go into a separate pouch, and you tie towards you so that you're physically bringing into being that which you call. All right, put that into another box. When you have finished burning your giveaway, and to understand the sacredness, and I know you understand the sacredness of what that is about, to send that away, and then with the ones that you call into your life, to burn those as well. And as the smoke goes up into the air and you watch it go up, and you might try burning with sacred cedar, please, and you go up, you see those as prayers to the grandfathers and the grandmothers. Okay? Does that make sense, Wahali? And it's like, I know the energy that you need to be in. It needs to be grounded, but it needs to be almost goddess-like, right? So it's this grounded, expansive, feminine womanhood power stance and place that is calm and centered and balanced, because you are very clear about what it is that you want to give away and what you wish to call into your life. It is a journey, and I think it is, Lisa, I want to do one here physically. If you have a place to do it, would love to do a workshop on it. But anyways, so the thing is that when we do this kind of work, we reorder our insides. We reorder the way our energy works inside of our body when we do this from a place of groundedness, when we do this from our power stance of being grounded. And you're going to do that metaphysical work. You're going to open up your chakras. You're going to get grounded. You're going to have the light go up to the sun. You're going to find your place in that golden dawn, golden ray energy as you move into ceremony, right? So there's preparation for ceremony, and then there's the movement into ceremony from a grounded place. And that we make that energy come forward is very powerful. And of course, in 2018, we have been very much leveling up our energy. This is a time of huge change. So what I'm getting is I'm getting some really big downloads now on how appropriate this is. But to do that ceremony this way, and I think that you will find that what's going to happen out of that, Wahali, is that your energy is going to shift. It's like you're almost on the path. You're just this much off track. And once you do this journey to the sacred mountain to call into being that which you really want to have happen, is going to snick and right over and onto track, and you're going to be off like a bat out of hell. So anyways, that's my reading for Wahali. Okay, so there we go. And so here's my cup. Anyone see this? Spiritual badass. I think it's a unicorn that's on there. Is it? Yeah, it's a unicorn. Anyways, okay. Radhima, let's just go with a card for you, okay? So now I did say that these were next step cards. So we're going to see what the next step is for Radhima, and it could be anything, my love. It could be anything at all. And so we'll just see what we've got here. The wheel. Now, love this card. Love this card. So let me tell you what's going on in this card, because here, what this is saying, and I'm not surprised at all about how this works, okay? So this card is the wheel. And there's all kinds of symbolism in this. So this wheel is being drawn on a shore, which is the ending of one thing, because the sea comes into the beach, and it starts up new again. I'm going to try and, how can I hold this over here? Yeah, there we go. No. Everything's opposite, so it throws me off like crazy. There's also a cave here, which is also about rebirth. So what we have in this card, what we have in this card is that a circle is being drawn. So it means that, so we want to talk about the circle of life, and we have to remember it's never a static circle. So it isn't just, it isn't just a circle like that, right? Yeah. So, if you really need to see the card, you can go to Google. It's Druid Craft. It's called The Wheel. It's a major arcana card. okay, so circles are not circles, not metaphysically. They're always spirals. So we start here and we spiral and we spiral and we spiral. So what does that mean metaphysically? What that means metaphysically is that we're going to keep coming back around to the same issues. And why do we do that? Because as we learn, because as we grow, we understand those lessons at a much deeper level, at a much more discrete and refined level. So when we start out at the beginning of our metaphysical journey, our understanding in many ways is kind of gross, and it's big and it's fat. And I don't mean gross like in the icky way. I mean gross as in big. Right? So not very discreet, not very refined, not very fine-tuned. It's sort of big and clunky, and we sort of understand it, and it's cumbersome, but we're going to keep working. Well, as you spiral and that spiral narrows and you come down closer and closer and closer to the root issue, which is why sometimes long-standing belief structures are so damn hard to get rid of, because they're so deeply embedded to us that we have to keep cycling around them in order to find them. So what this is telling me is that you are now in a place where the circle is not happening to you. You are creating the circle. So you have reached the end of one cycle. Now, interestingly, this card falls right in the middle of the major arcana. So it is a card that you would see in the beginning would be the Magician, at the end would be the World, and in the middle is the Wheel. So you are in the middle of this journey. You've been on it for a little while now. And yes, you are creating your circle, Radhima. And I'm just going to, I don't know how this keeps working here, but there is a rebirth that is pending for you. So now what happens is when we talk about rebirth, let's talk about it's a feeling of fullness. It's a feeling of being pregnant with an idea or a situation or something that we're calling into reality. Right? And so it's not here yet. So we are pregnant with this. We are building it and creating it. And that when we give birth, oftentimes when this happens with beliefs, it almost comes out fully structured, fully ready to go, fully ready for you to pull the trigger and move forward. So what I am seeing and what I am getting for you right now is that the next step is to continue on with this journey. There is a process of rebirth happening here. Do not be put off by how difficult it is. Now, I'm going to see if I can get this right up here. You will see here she is carrying a symbol that is about harvest. And so this is a really, and like I say, this is the Druidcraft card. There you go. So Radhima says that what she's been working on has been coming true, right? So she's creating her circle and it's coming true. So this is a very powerful card. It is a major arcana card, so it's primarily concerned with that's going on inside of us. And we do, yes, the harvest is not quite here. And the thing about harvest is never static, right? Anybody here grow vegetables? Because let me tell you, even while you're waiting for the harvest, there's something going on. There's always something going on with the harvest. And by that, I just mean that it's like, plants grow. And while we're waiting for the plants to bear fruit, it's not like nothing's happening. There's always something happening. We just can't see it. So your harvest is imminent. I would say, Radhima, line up your ducks. Just line up your ducks all in a row, because when it's ready to go, it's going to, you'll be growing vegetables soon. But as you move forward, this is going to happen. It's going to happen really quickly. And so keep working on it. Keep putting it all together, because it's going to happen. And I think you will be quite surprised by how quickly. Oh, here, I've screwed up my deck now. That's all right. We don't care. We don't care. Yeah, here we go. All right. In the Vision Quest, Peace Pipe. All right. So, Peace Pipe. Now, what's really interesting is Peace Pipe is a concept that white people who were negotiating, white men who were negotiating with native tribes in terms of, so Rahima, this is going to be important for you. So Peace Pipe is a card that I pulled in terms of what's going on with yourself. And these native spirit cards are really about very much inward changes. And it's another aspect of the wheel. But let me talk about, so the reason why you hear Peace Pipe used, and it's used incorrectly in native communities, is because when a deal or a negotiation had taken place with First Nations or North American Native people, they believed the government foolish people. And so in order to sort of, I guess, figuratively speaking, seal the deal, they would pull out their pipes, their sacred pipes, and they would have a pipe ceremony. And the pipe ceremony is about prayers, and it is about praying. But because oftentimes what was happening in treaty negotiations is the white people, the settlers, were negotiating around terms of peace, which in fact really weren't very peaceful because a lot of First Nations people were shunted off to the worst possible territories and were fenced in. And you all know the history of First Nations people in the United States and Canada. It's not a pretty story. But what they called that pipe ceremony was a peace pipe, because what they were doing was suing for peace. It was not what was happening on the side of the Native American people. It was a prayer. So the reason why I think that the peace pipe is an important card for you as you move forward with this card, the world, is to do it in a prayerful and sacred way. Also, I think that prayer is an important part for you. So if you're going to satsang, I would, again, go in grounded in your feminine power and to practice your spiritual life from a very empowered place, because I really see that that's going to be a backbone of your new endeavors and your new activities. Getting a little bit of a business thing happening here. But what it is that you're doing is going to be successful. Come at it also with your spiritual groundedness and your spiritual life and that perspective, because I think it's going to help you. Okay. All right. So does that work for you? Does that make sense for you, Rahima? Let's see. Who else have we got here? I know, it's a really special card. So let's see who asked. Hi, Jennifer, you're in here. And fine, if you came in to listen in, that's great. Let me see. I have to go back here quite a ways because I never do short readings. Isn't that really bad? So somebody else asked for, oh, good. I'm so glad. Somebody else asked for a reading and I can't see who it is. Let me just scroll back here. Lisa. There you go. Oh, you are welcome. Lisa Damas Carpio. All right, Lisa. Let's just shuffle the cards here. Oh, I guess I better put this one back in because it needs to go in too. And we'll just go from here. So while I'm just shuffling cards, I want to talk a little bit about tarot myths. You know, it's really funny. When I started reading tarot cards 35 years ago, I can't believe it's been that long. You always had to have the person who was sitting in front of you known in the tarot world as a querent. In the medium world, that person is known as a sitter. But anyways, so you used to get them to do it because you had to pick up on their energy. Well, we've kind of evolved our ideas around energy and stuff now because I do readings for people all over the world. And energy is energy is energy, isn't it? All right, so there we go. I'm just going to put this up here. And I am. So, Lisa, we are going to take a look at a card for the next step for you. And I'm getting this card. Oh, good. 7 of Pentacles. Another card of harvest. So I just want to show you here. So what's happening here is look at up here where the harvest is happening. So you should know I don't read tarot cards by what the book says. I mean, I can tell you what the book says. But the cards, in fact, and indeed give me context, right? So what this one is saying is, what I'm getting here for you is that something that you've been working on, again, I think a business started out as a side business, but I think it's sort of becoming more your main priority now. I think is you have been setting into place a lot of details around this next project, and you're working it. And it's being somewhat fruitful in terms of where you are. Like you can see that it's going to take off, that it's going to work for you. But what this one is saying is that you're still working on it. Now we've got 7 Pentacles here. And 7, oh, well, Holly, you have to remind me, 7 is, it is again a harvest one. It's almost financially fruitful. Here, now I got to go back and find this thing. And it's working on it, right? So you are moving forward in terms of, and I do think it's like something that started out as a hobby or a side business or something that you didn't do full time, like you had work elsewhere. Does that make sense? If you could just sort of let me know. And I'm not fishing for information here. I'm really not. But so what I do see with this card is that what you've been working on, and this is very much a physical card. So this isn't like where I'm seeing you are in terms of your spiritual growth at the moment and your personal growth. You're all good there. Like you have a path. You're very clear about what's going on and you're working that. So this card is different. This is not about this inner working. This is about getting this inner working out into the real world. So you have been putting the pieces together for this, and it's almost here, right? So it's just a little step away. And that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting is that it's working now. Does that make sense? Because this is there's still just a little bit of work left to do. I'm thinking March is going to be really good for you financially. So what I'm getting is that things are going to really start to move in March. So everything that you're doing is kind of building up to that place, and that it is going to, March is going to be the month for you. Okay, good. I'm glad that makes sense to you, because that's what I'm getting. And I have to tell you, I tell this to everybody that I do timelines for. There's a part of me that is really afraid of saying what a timeline is, because I always think of like, oh my God, what if I get it wrong? What if I get it wrong? And it's not March. It's February, right? So I always worry about timelines. And so the truth of the matter is that it's not that the timelines are invalid. It's my fear of being wrong. Isn't that funny? We all have such funny things that we're afraid of. Okay, so Lisa, I am so glad for that. So what I'm saying is just don't worry about it. Let's see what Spirit has to say about it over here. And I think that's this card. So we have Warrior of the Heart. Okay, so do not do not let the naysayers get to you. Okay. I mean, they're out there anyways, right? I mean, it doesn't make any difference what you do. There's going to be somebody that's going to be like, what? So my thought on that one is, do not worry about it. You need to be a warrior of the heart. And interesting, because we think of warrior as violent. Yeah, I will, Val. So we think of warriors as kind of balance and being in battle and all that kind of stuff, but we're also talking about warrior of the heart here. And I think that really is a case of staying true to your roots and it's a white polar bear, and staying true to your, hair issues here. Staying true to your heart, staying true to your convictions and your beliefs. Don't get pulled off of them because it looks like it's easier to go another route. Especially if you are doing a heart-centered or metaphysical style business, there is always an issue around balancing best practice when it comes to sales and our integrity as a metaphysical, spiritual person, and what will work and what won't work. There is some information out there around that. And I want to tell you that this week I am launching a group called the Metaphysical Business Support Group. It is not about how to run. It is not about it's not training. It's not training to be a Reiki master. This is if you're going to be doing a metaphysical business and you are going to be marketing that business online, what is it that you have to do? What are the skill sets that you need to learn in order to have that happen? And it's going to cover everything from how to, people say convert sales, but how to invite people into your world to have a fair exchange of energy in terms of what your work is and the value that you have around that, how you market that, and the mechanics of how do you put together a decent video? How do you set up your YouTube channel? Now, I'm not like the master. There are people out there who have, 400,000 followers who do nothing but talk about that. And it can be a little bit intimidating because it's a world that is owned by a lot of men. Very few women play in that world. But I want to talk about how do we as a community, a metaphysical community, work together to support each other in being successful in our businesses using tools like Facebook Live, like YouTube, understanding the algorithms, understanding how all of our work across social media platforms work in supporting our business. And also just talking about, you have an idea for doing a metaphysical business. Great. What's your business plan? What does it look like? What is the context, purpose, and intended results of that business? What is your code of ethics? Once you have that established, where does that leave you in terms of how to move forward with that? Yes, Lisa, I will. I'm just, I had a page that was up and I had a name for it, didn't like it. But I will let you know about it because it's going to be, and I'm not talking about these, selling a $10,000 personal coaching program, right? Not my thing. I'm into the practical side of enlightenment, how to make it work on a day-to-day basis. I'm not into starting the whole $5,000 coaching thing and all that kind of stuff. I really like reading. That's what my business is. But in the process of doing readings back again professionally over the last year, I've learned an awful lot of stuff about how to do online business and online business marketing. And, my background in broadcast journalism and being a published writer and doing that work since I was in university, that was, the dinosaurs were still roaming the earth in those days. So anyways, we will do that. Lori, do you want me to pull a card for you quickly before you leave? And Val, if you don't mind, I'll pull for Lori first. If you're still here, Lori, are you still here? Can you let me know? Because if you are, I will pull a card. Well, I'm going to pull a card for you anyways. So what have I got here? The Hermit. So, Lori, let's talk about the Hermit. And you know, I got to tell you here, if you look at this, the Hermit, oftentimes here, this is an interesting card. So the Hermit, oh, okay, there you go. All right, so let's talk about this because I have to make sure, where are my glasses? Oh dear, you know, it's like, this is the problem with being blind. I can't tell where anything is. I have, you know, I got to have 6 pairs of glasses around this house. Yes, that is indeed. Okay, so here, it's a wolf. And it's a hermit standing on a precipice overlooking things. So the Hermit is about having been solitary but not lonely, right? There is not loneliness here. The Hermit in this card has a companion. It's a wolf. And wolves, as we know, and I'm going to focus on the wolf because that's what's coming through to me. Wolves, as we know, are clan animals. They have a tribe, for lack of a better word, but they have a clan. And what's happening here is that the Hermit has been removed and in a solitary place, but not unaware, not in a place of not participating. The thing about this card that's different, and the imagery that's different in this card than a lot of other cards about the Hermit is that the Hermit is actually looking forward to something, right? Usually we see the Hermit from the back. We don't really get a sense of who the Hermit is. I mean, clearly, obviously male because there's a beard there. But it is a journey of moving forward. It's that time of retreat. It's that time of being in our spiritual life where we have been learning and grounding. And, but it's like, it's at a much higher level. It's almost as if you come from being hermit and move into the magician, right? Does that make sense? So, and the magician is about mastery. So what I'm getting here is that you have been through a process of learning and mastery. And so, but it has been solitary till now, and necessarily so. There was work that can only be done in terms of our solitary journey. It is done by ourselves. It is not done in community. It is not done in circle. It is done separate and outside of that. So what I'm getting from this card is that you have been doing that for a while, but it is now time for you to come back. And that's what this journey is it's taking that look, that last long look over the whole situation and deciding where you're going to insert yourself back into community. Does that make sense for you? And thank you, Lori. You know, I really love doing this, and I have found that it is really something, and I have that Claire, somebody here I know must know these things because I never know them. But it's like, for me, it's like I've always known the information, which was why it took me a really long time in my life. Oh, Jackie, you're not supposed to be going to work. All right, Jackie, message me. We'll do something. We'll figure something out for this week, okay? I will be in touch with you, Jackie. Lori, thank you for dropping in. I do appreciate you dropping by. Just make sure when you reinsert back into community, do not lose the lessons that you've learned in your solitary journey. It's easy to get pulled and hooked by community and human emotions and drama. You don't need to do that anymore. You don't need to do that. You have learned a different way of being so that you can be warm and compassionate, kind, engaged, without being sucked into whatever the heck is going on. So you have a clear path. You need to be in community. Please go and do that, and do it from a place of empowerment. Okay? All right, Lori. So just so you know, Jackie has said she has to leave us and go to work. Lori is saying that they're going to come again. Jackie, I will catch up with you, and there we go. So now, Val, you're in here. So Val, in case you missed the beginning, which I think kind of maybe you did, and I'm pretty sure it's in the description that I said, what I'm doing is pulling cards from my Druidcraft deck. and their next step cards. So, and I don't ask people what it is. I just work from whatever spirit shows up and says and has to say about it. So, and they're never, it's like, I swear, everybody's guides just wait for me to shuffle the deck and pull a card because they have messages that they need you to hear. All right. And all right, let's see what the cards are. Where did my buddy Charlene go? She didn't show up in here tonight. No, she's off doing something. Okay. So why do I think, okay, this card. All right. So the card that I have for you is a major arcana card. It's the Lord. Now, if you know anything about Druidcraft, a staff is a very strong, powerful image, and he's wearing horns. Now, so you have to understand a little bit about how Druidcraft works, because I'm going to read some of the symbols here. We're talking about Celtic traditions. I think probably for most of us, we're sort of familiar with the legends of King Arthur and the Round Table and all of that kind of stuff. The metaphysical side happens around this in terms of what was happening with Morgana. Oh, excuse me. Absent 6, Merlin, all of that kind of stuff. But there's, it's like we're talking about Glastonbury, we're talking about the Isle of Skye, we're talking about a very long tradition that sometimes was not pleasant. There were certainly traditions in terms of the leaders sacrificing themselves and that kind of thing. So the Lord is talking about a kind of energy that is grounded in strength and has a clear vision. And what the Lord gives up, because this is in the first, now these cards are in journeys of 3. So the Lord here is in the very beginning of a metaphysical journey, in the very beginning of a much higher level of learning. So what I'm getting a sense of here is that it is time to give up things. It is time to give up childish things. It is time to give up those things that prevent us from stepping into who we are truly. And one of the things that I do know about, and I will tell you this, and I hope that, so it's going to be a little revealing. So I hope that this is okay. So here's how it is. A lot of times people who come into this world with fairly decent vibrational levels and psychic gifts and being able to connect to spirit and being able to do metaphysical work. So here's the thing is, if you didn't have mentors around that work when you were much younger, as a young woman or as a teenager, when those gifts start to become active, it can be somewhat of a scary thing, especially depending on what the gifts are and how they come into you. And so what happens is, for every woman who has this gift, who carries extra weight, or who uses drugs or alcohol, but usually typically for women it's weight, it's because it grounds us. And because when you start working at a much higher vibrational level, it can be very heady, it can be very dizzying, and that can be a physical response to it. It's earlier when I was doing Wahali's reading. I mean, like, I was getting some very serious downloaded energy, and I know she picked up on it. But if you don't know how to ground when that kind of information is coming through to you, it can be a very scary thing. Why am I telling you this? Because I think that there is a place where you have been, where you wanted to be recognized for the gifts that you have, without sounding demanding and whiny about it, and not being recognized by it, and living a life of frustration in terms of not being able to be the woman that you know you are, for all kinds of reasons. And I think some of that is because you owned it and you got very garbled messages as a young woman that you owned. And also because some of the people who have been in your life in the past and maybe even currently have taken advantage of that with you. Okay. So I don't know if that makes sense. But what I'm seeing is that it's like, you know, that was yesterday's story. That was yesterday's story. You don't have to believe in that crap anymore, and you don't have to be whiny about it, but you also don't have to be in people's faces about it. So the Lord here, like when you look at him, he is just grounded in his position in the community. There is no question who he is. And I think that the journey for you over this next 6 months, and I'm seeing 3 months, very intense work, is to strip away the crap. Strip away the things that you don't need to have in your life that just cause issues. So it's like, and I don't know if any of this is true, but here's what I get. It's like, you need to, it's not like you need to get rid of toxic people in your life, because I really don't think you have a lot of toxic people in your life. But what I do get a sense of is you have a lot of clutter in your life. And that's like clutter in terms of people. That's clutter in terms of where you spend your time. That's clutter in terms of what's around your house. Now, I don't get this message at all often. But what I'm getting is that you need to declutter your life. That is your next step forward. Declutter your life, because what that clutter is doing, whether it's emotional clutter, mental clutter, friends clutter, physical clutter in your house, is that it's all just busy work that's in front of your face like this that stops you from seeing your clear purpose. Does that make sense, Val? Because that is like really serious. What it is that I'm getting for you is that by decluttering your life, you're going to find clarity of purpose in a way in which you never have before. And so you're not going to be trying so hard to convince people that you're the guy, right? That you're the one. So whatever it is that you're planning to do in terms of business, because I know you hate working shit jobs just like the rest of us do, right? So you don't want to be working those shit jobs. But the reason why you're not accomplishing what you want to accomplish professionally is because there is clutter in your life that you need to get rid of. And that may be starting with the closets in your house, because energy-wise, it doesn't make any difference if you're starting with cleaning out, even cleaning out, you know, that drawer everybody has in their kitchen, which is the clutter drawer. It's like, oh God, I don't know what to do with this, so I'll just shove it in here. It's even cleaning out just that drawer, because once you start that journey in terms of decluttering, and it can be a simple thing, pick a closet, pick a drawer, pick some, I don't care, pick something and start getting rid of the stuff you don't need. And you know, some of it is stuff that we love, but does it serve us? Do we need it? Or is it just extra stuff just in case someday I might need it? Get rid of that stuff. Right? Because there is going to be such clarity of purpose for you when you get rid of that. So, gee, I'm not following anything here. So I sure hope, Val, I sure hope you're still here and that, you know, that worked for you, you know? So, anyways, let me know. Do I have anybody left here? Is there anybody here? But anyways, Val, so I hope that's helpful. You'll be able to come back and listen to this on the replay, because there will be a replay. So, you know, I hope that works out for you. Well, you know, let's just see here. What does Val say? Decluttered roommates and much belongings, lost everything from the house, then moved here, now have to move again. See, Val, I'm going to tell you, my love, shit happens, and it's like it's either it's shit's happening and it's a bummer, or it's shit's happening and I'm being told by the universe that I need to clean shit up. So, roommates who stole stuff, I don't know, maybe it's just like, did you need it? I mean, I don't know I can't tell you about that because I don't know, but I do know that what needs to happen for you now is to let go of that shit, declutter the stuff that you need to declutter. It's almost like, mid-century modern houses, like you can Google mid-century modern. I mean, I'm not really in love with the furniture or the color schemes, but what I am in love with in mid-century modern is everything has a place, no clutter hanging around at all. And I'm kind of getting that that's what you need to do right now, is to declutter. And it's not like the universe is asking you to give up anything that you really, really love or feel that you need to have in your life. But it's a process. The decluttering is a physical process of getting clear about your purpose. And shit happens. And you just kind of got to let it, you got to roll with it. I often tell people who I'm working with metaphysically when we're doing auric work, well, Holly, if she's still here, Lord love her for hanging in, will tell you that I often talk about the Teflon aura. And that's where it's like what people have to say about who I am in the world and what I do. It's like, fine, whatever, fuck off. I don't care. It's because what I do is I have in my auric work and in my daily meditations, what I do is reinforce my aura with a Teflon shield. And what that does is it's like negativity comes in, hits the shield, slides off, never gets anywhere near to me because that's just the way it is. And the Teflon shield's mirrored, so it goes back to where it came from. That's just the way I visualize it. But I really see that there is a way that women function in the world. Yeah, you probably didn't need those wedding rings, girl. Like, really, and it's like some people will just take advantage of you. The problem with the process of decluttering is that as you get rid of them, as you get rid of that stuff, what is it? Only things left I won't declutter. Oh, fur babies, absolutely agreed. Yeah, some old clothes, I got a suitcase of those. I mean, it's like we all got stuff. I mean, I have a whole suitcase of clothes and I'm determined to lose enough weight to get back into. I mean, it could be a pipe dream, but still there they are. And fur babies, we don't get rid of fur babies. They're family. So I get it. But what I'm talking about is to simplify your life, right? To really simplify your life. Declutter, get rid of stuff that you don't need. Get rid of stuff physically that you don't need, but also get rid of stuff emotionally that you don't need and mentally that you don't need. And maybe it even means a time of retreat and solitary, right? Because one of the ways in which women work, because of the kind of upbringing and the cultural stories that we still all adhered to if you're a woman of a certain age, is that we get the attention we need by being sick, by being dysfunctional, by creating drama. And it's almost as if we don't know we're alive unless we're hurting. So in order to know we're alive, we will enter into those situations that will hurt us. It takes a little while to turn that around. And it takes a little while to sort of go, what the fuck have I been doing? And there's going to be rough starts on that. So you're going to try and move forward with something and you're going to run into a wall and it's going to feel like shit. And so you're going to have to step back and retry it. But here's the deal. Do not quit on yourself, right? I mean, like, girl, I mean, I've seen your work. I've seen your photography. It's really stunning. And you are entering into a world where people with, teeny little digital cameras, I mean, like, here's my little digital camera, and I think I'm the world's greatest photographer. And so why would I need to hire a professional, right? So, but I've seen your work. And I know how good you are. So I'm going to give you a business tip here, dear. Niche down. You need to niche down. And I thought you were getting close to niching down. So what does it say? Looking forward to move this week and retreating to my new man and happy for a family. It does take a turnaround. Yeah, fuck last year. It was a rough year, and you have to understand it was like, is it this year is the 1 year? No, last year was the 1 year. So a lot of shit happened. A lot of shit happened. So, it happened. And sometimes you burn bridges that you wish you hadn't. Life happens. You got to keep moving forward. So you're moving. Moving is a great time to declutter. But it's like the shoulda, woulda, coulda, yeah buts. And yeah buts are like what I'm getting right now is yeah buts are a big one for you. Yeah, but I could. Yeah, but I did. You need to not be using the word yeah, but, right? And his sleazy friend, what if? Just pick a course and go for it. Do not give yourself excuses. Do not give yourself outs. Keep moving forward. Richard Branson says, even when you fall down flat on your face, it's still moving forward. It's what you need to do. Okay, so I don't know if that's of any help to you at all, but I really do see that you need to declutter and step into your place of power. Stop using yeah, but. Move forward. And known you a while, Val. Don't be dependent on a man for your happiness. Just saying. And that's not a psychic thing. That's an Alex thing. Just saying. Well, it could be a psychic thing. I don't know. Sometimes the psychic things are Alex things. But anyways, there you go. Anybody else want a reading? We've been here. No, honey, I got crystals. Val's asking me if I need crystals. But, there is a couple of metaphysical groups in Penticton that are on Facebook. You might try them there. But yeah, it's like, no, I have a lovely crystal collection. I have crystals that you can't even get anymore. Katie, well, hello there. So there's, right. So, yep. I know, true that. Hi, Katie. How is life and your generosity and gestures of kindness? I don't know if you guys know Katie, but Katie is always doing unexpected paying it forward acts of kindness kind of type things. And I'm always watching her Facebook feed to see what has she done now, because she's always surprising somebody. Val, I'm going to just pull a personal development card here for you. No, I think it's this one, which is Thunder Drum. Okay. Well, Holly, if you're still here, Thunder Drum is a deep, deep drum. So I'm really getting a sense that, Val, here's the work that you need to do. Well, you don't need to do it because, but anyways, I don't really think I pack around. Yeah. So listen, let's talk about Thunder Drum. So Thunder Drum is about deep. It's connected to the earth. It's a very cool drum. You hear it a lot sometimes in ceremony, where it's a deep and grounding one. But what it is it's like earth energy, earth magic that's deep, deep, deep in our bones. So what I'm getting for you, Val, is that deep, deep, deep in your bones, you know who you are, and you have taken on family values that don't serve you, cultural values that don't serve you, ways of looking at the world where you think you need X, Y, and Z to be complete as a human being. Absolutely not the case. Your place of power is deep inside of you. And what you need to do is to start just being in that. It's not like you have to do anything. There's no doingness involved in this, but there is beingness, to be in your deep place of strength and power. And don't expect that it will happen overnight or that it will be easy, because you've got to overcome your cultural training. But I really do believe that you can move forward quickly and easily if you're willing to connect with that deep, deep place of strength. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, Val. Katie, you would love a reading. Okay, let me just shuffle here. I wonder, did anybody, this was pay what you want night. It's like I'm hoping somebody's paying. But anyways, Katie, how's your house working out? I love the pictures out of your window when you moved to the new place. I thought that was I'm thinking, oh, how lovely to wake up to that every day. But anyways, all right, here we go. Let's see. What have we got for Katie here? Yep. Let me see. Val is saying, oh, no, that's not it. I'm pulling a card for you, but let me just show you what Val's saying. It's the calling of the earth. It's going back. Yeah, and so Val, here's the thing is that I really want you to know is, the universe always has your back. So even when you're feeling abandoned, it's not that the universe has abandoned you. It's that we've abandoned the universe. We're kind of off, I don't know, being disconnected or doing something. But it's like, it's like the universe is there. It has your back. Sometimes we're just not listening. Okay, what have we got here? Oh, the Queen of Pentacles. So, Katie, this tells me, oh, look at the imagery on that. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at those animals down there, rams. And a drum. And it's a big drum, so it's a heart drum, and it's pentacles. Okay. So, Queen of Pentacles. So, pentacles often have to do with finances. And they have to do with businesses. So, I am thinking that what this is talking about mastery, right? So, our cards, Ace through Tens, are called pips. And they're the first stage of our journey. Then we get into the court cards, of which this is one. And it's the second stage of our journey. And then we're into the major arcana, which is the third stage of our journey. And each one of those is divided into thirds. Well, except for the court cards. They're divided into prince, princess, queen, and king, or lord, king. So what this one is saying is that we have a woman here who is very assured about her skill set. She is connected. This is a big drum. It's connected to earth magic. It's connected to the strength of the earth. And what I'm seeing for you is that there is going to be, your business is going to be doing really well. It's going to move forward, but it's going to, this is really interesting because more and more of these cards tonight have been talking about a serious sense of grounding to the earth, of using earth magic. So I don't know if you do magic or if you belong to the Wicca community, but your strength is being in nature. Your strength and recharging is being out in where you're being grounded. So, it's like for you sitting under a tree, taking off your shoes, getting your feet onto the ground is going to ground you. Val, the videos are always saved. They go just direct, and then I download them and put them on my YouTube channel. But Katie, for you, and I know you are mindful about this, about staying connected to the earth and to use that strength in your business. But what I'm seeing is for you is that your next step is going to be in terms of fruitfulness for your business, that you are going to move forward with your, let me just sort of get this message here. Okay. Guides make it clearer. You have been doing wonderful things and connecting over this past year, and you have been in a place where just getting engaged and connected and bringing into the physical world your inner principles has been where you've been working. What I'm seeing is that you're going to have a whole new sense of fruitfulness that comes out of all of those actions that you've taken this last year. And it's not going to be kind of some big rah-rah show. Just what's going to happen here for you is a slow, steady growth that is grounded every step of the way. So I really see what your next step is to widen that circle and to take on that queenly aspect of being out in the community. So I don't want to say blow your own horn, because that sounds kind of like old style thinking, but I think it's time for you to become known in a much broader sense of doing that. So I don't know, like I get a sense that your metaphysical business needs some attention with you, and that there are ways and means in which you can widen the impact of that. Does that make any kind of sense at all, Katie? And again, not fishing, just wanna see if I'm hearing spirit, because it's not that spirit isn't correct, it's that I don't get the message clearly all the time. So if you can just let me know about that, and we'll see where it goes from there. Oh, thank you. It's so good. Katie says that it's dead on. Good. Because, I mean, it's like we're all afraid that we're going to get it wrong, right? But that's what I'm sort of getting a sense of. And I have to tell you, it's not a whole bunch of big, loud moves. This is like steadfast, clear, forward movement. We're just going in this direction, and we're just going. So what's going to be really interesting for you is, I think that people are going to start following you in a way that you've not had before. So there you go. All right. So that's it. I hope that makes sense. Oh my God, we've been here an hour and 15 minutes already. So I'm going to say good evening, because I actually have to make some more videos tonight. Katie, one of these days we're going to have to connect up, because I know you're just up the road from me a bit. And it would be great fun to meet up. Like I say, I've taken this job where I'm working 40 hours a week, and it's just, it's killing me, because I can't spend all the time I want to on making my videos and my courses. But in case you didn't hear earlier, on Monday evenings, I'm thinking of doing, a Zoom meeting at about 6 o'clock in the evening on metaphysical musings. Yes, we do need to do that, Katie. But anyways, so it won't be tomorrow night, because I'm going to just spend some time organizing it, but it's going to be Metaphysical Musings by Zoom meeting on Monday nights. No particular agenda, and we will move forward from there. And so, but it's going to be about, let's really talk about, seriously, and because I am the practical side, it's tea and transformation, the practical side of enlightenment, it's always got to be grounded. What do we need to do next? What is it that we need to be working on? Where is our groundedness out of this? What is the practical things, like laws of attraction? Really, how do we make those puppies work for us? It's not like, I declare that I'm going to make $250,000 in this next year, and there's no plan behind that. I mean, like, seriously, how are you going to attract anything if you don't have a plan? So that kind of thing. So we're going to be talking about, like, what are the practical aspects of this, really? So we'll talk to metaphysical musings on Mondays. Okay. All right. Well, that's it for tonight. And I'm going to move on. And, one of these nights, I think I might actually try this over in YouTube. and we'll see what happens there. I have a lot of friends who are doing live YouTubes now, and that looks like an awful lot of fun. So, all right. Thank you all for joining me. It's always a good evening when I can exercise my psychic muscles. And well, Holly, I have a little outfit for Pippin too, and I'm trying to work on a gift for you as well. So we should be in touch. And I have a feeling that you and I are going to be seeing one another this year. Okay, not online, but we're going to see each other. All right. So blessings to you all. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I've had just a hoot. I love to do this work. And, so it makes me happy. And I love it when spirit comes through and my guides come through and your guides come through and it just, it just makes me happy. It's one of the things that I love to do. So thank you all for participating and letting me do what I love to do. And we'll see you all soon. And week tomorrow, Metaphysical Musings. Let's get together for an hour and just talk. Like, seriously, how do we make it work and balance our lives in this crazy world that's happening? I'm so sorry for all my American friends. You have Trump. It really is an opportunity. Really it is. But balancing all of that up against spiritual growth, staying grounded, staying balanced, staying, this next year, it really is, I think the theme for the year is going to be grace under pressure, so there we go. So we'll see you all again next week. Thank you so much for joining me. And this is Alex signing out for Tea and Transformation, the practical side of enlightenment. I'll see you all on the other side.